Okay, certainly not up to our standard, what we expect. Got a lot of work to do. That's very clear. Doesn't matter who's out there, ones, twos, threes, fours, whoever it is, we expect them to perform, and we expect our level of performance to be much better than that. So you just break it down. Line of scrimmage, we didn't win the line of scrimmage. Fundamentally, we weren't good enough. Too many penalties. We get out there and playing against their ones. We expect to compete with them, and that wasn't the case early. And then our twos then who were out there competing against their twos, and our threes against their threes, it didn't get much better. So we got to look at it, figure some things out, and evaluate some of the guys as well, and see where we stand there, and a lot of work to get done this week as we move forward here. So I thought we made some momentum, had some momentum coming off that practice, which I thought was a good practice for us. Tonight, however, not even close. So we go back and head back tonight and get back to Buffalo and have a good week of practice coming up.
Did you feel like you accomplished enough with that joint practice that you didn't need to see most of your starters tonight?
I felt like we had moved in the right direction, holistically coming out of that practice. And it's not that they still don't need work; they do. But tonight was a chance for us to also evaluate some of the other players on our roster, and doing so, we'll also hope to keep some of our starters healthy as well. So, so was looking forward to seeing some guys with the opportunity tonight step up, and I didn't sense that as much as I'd hoped.
Cole Bishop did play a little bit there. Couldn't tell. It looked like the first touchdown might have been on him. Are you concerned at this point, John, that because of the time he's missed, plus last year he's supposed to be a starter? Are you at all concerned at this point?
I'm concerned about a lot of things coming off of tonight, really, Sal. So we've got to look at the film and really just see who we have, who can help us, what we may need, and then also things that we can just do better execution-wise, fundamentally, those things. So there's a lot that needs to get cleaned up.
What did you see from Cole, obviously limited the last couple of practices leading into this game, in the two practices, and then what you saw out there today?
Yeah, it was limited because he's been on a managed rep count, so I think he had like 3 or 4 plays a period, and then maybe again this past in the practice the other day, and then tonight. So with that, I wanted to get him some more reps. He needs more experience. He needs more reps. That's where you work out some of these things, and that's how you build the callousness, and it comes from experience. So there's nothing more important for him than the experience that he got tonight, and then moving forward. But even tonight, he was on a rep count of roughly 10 to 12 plays there. I think that's about what he had.
Same for Palmer. The reason why he played was because he hadn't played. He just hasn't had the
Yes. And he's new. He's new to us, and continuing to get him more and more experience with our system, and more build his endurance a little bit up too, coming off the injury that he's been dealing with as well. So
I know it's tough before you get to watch the film, but whether it be the rush up front or the secondary, what did you feel like was the bigger issue in terms of what you guys were giving up in the passing game?
Yeah, you name it. It starts up front, like everything does. You want to win a game, you got to win the trenches. And we had a hard time stopping the run. We had a hard time stopping the pass. Those two work together, the rush and the coverage, as you've heard me say, over and over again. And the quarterback cannot go in the first drive of the game unaffected, and he was in a rhythm right away, and now you're dealing with it. The quarterback rating at the end of the game says it all, right? So I think theirs was one over 100, and ours was right around 55, 56. So there's the game right there.
Mitch got to play with the starters last week. Mike didn't get that chance. Kind of odds were stacked against him a little bit because of that, Sean, that situation.
You want to be as even as possible, right? Same players, all that type of stuff. It's not always possible to do it the way you want it to. We tried to give him about equal playing time. Mitch had the first half last week. Mike had it this week, and And so we evaluate the best we can off of those performances, and we move forward.
Sean, it looked like tackling was an issue a couple different times throughout the game. How much does that, because that seems like an effort type thing, how much is that stuff bothering you?
Yeah, well, effort, I don't feel like it was effort, but when you lose the way we did, it was probably a little bit of everything. And tackling, I mentioned you may not have been in here, Josh, but fundamentally, we got out fundamental. You throw, you catch. You get off blocks, you tackle. So, we've got to make sure we go back to the fundamentals of the game, and it can't all be about scheme and this and that. It's about who can go out and win the one-on-ones, who's going to tackle, who's going to get off blocks. That's where the game starts, really. So.
Jack was a shoulder, they said.
Yes.
Was announced any word on what that could
I have
be?
not followed up. I have not heard from Nate yet. So.
What did you think about his performance, second preseason game while he was in there, Jordan, that is?
He grew a little bit, and unfortunately got hurt. So, and these young guys, they're all learning. You look out there and you got, TJ out there and getting some good reps, Dion getting some good reps, Landon getting some good reps, Styles in his second year. So there's quite a bit of youth out there, and these guys are wet behind the ears, and they need time. We didn't plan on playing TJ and Dion that long into the third quarter, but we came out and wanted to get them some more reps, and that experience is good for them. So we're trying to see who can play up with the varsity, if you will, and who can help us. So that's part of the evaluation from tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.